Hello there, and this is just a short video on this script I made for turning off a Raspberry Pi gracefully with a button. Apparently, a lot of people in this "What do you want from an RPi 4" wanted a soft shutdown button, and I couldn't really understand that because yeah, I needed that too, and I consider the Raspberry Pi a development board, but I guess I do lean more towards the hardware than I do the software. Software is still fun, but it never even occurred to me that when you have GPIO available, it just seemed natural that just add a button, I guess. But yeah, I can see if people prefer just getting a development board and throwing software on it instantly when they get it and just using it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I made the script public, and after very short time, Barabinsky here recommended that I didn't just, um, that I just didn't just have a busy loop, which is what I had, because for the particular use case I had, it didn't really matter. So instead, I made it event driven. Basically, in the script here, that's just that you can see in the while loop, it's actually sleeping for 100 seconds, and then it's just triggering every time something happens to a button and running this. So instead of just burning CPU power while waiting for the button, it's just not doing anything, and then when something happens, it'll do a bit. Yeah, that's the short of it. Anyways, so hardware-wise, it's very simple. You just add a actually, let me just bring up an image for that. RPi pinout. There we go. So this is very simple. You just connect a button across these two bottom pins, GPIO 21 and ground, or in fact any other GPIO pin and ground, which I'll get to at the end of this video on how you can configure which pin you're using. So, right, actually you can see that right there, button pin 21. But the default is 21, and the default time to hold down the button for it to shut off is 5 seconds. So the recommended way I'd say to install this is to take this script from here, put it in a file, copy this service file here, and adjust it so that it actually calls the file you put, and then sudo systemctl enable rpioff. But if you're not too comfortable with doing that, this video here is going to show you exactly how to install the package I've made available. Now, I am a random stranger on the internet, so that's why I recommend just copying this code up here, because you can see all of the code. You know it's not malicious, but you can take my word for it. You can trust this package. And what's paradoxical about that sentence? Well, I'm a really bad source. If you want to ask someone if you can trust me, of course I'm going to say you can trust me. But hey, for convenience, this is available. I'd recommend just going up with that if you don't trust me. But basically, it's pretty much just these instructions right here that we're going to do. So let's do them. Add my repository. Oh, right, I should mention this here is a Raspberry Pi Zero W connected to Wi-Fi. That's the only thing I've changed in it. All the rest of it is just completely stock Raspbian Lite. Add my repository key, though I don't think this is necessary as of yet. It's I don't think I've uploaded the right files. I've only uploaded the package itself. I think the key is used in the change files, but I'm not entirely sure. Whoops, it's not what I wanted to. Just wanted to copy it. Okay, so we do an update to get the package list updated to also reflect my package, which is rpioff, and then when that's done, we can install it. Before we install it, though, I'm just going to check that it's the right version that I have in there in my repository. I messed up the service file in version 2. So this is taking a while, isn't it? I guess it's not the fastest computer or Wi-Fi connection on the Raspberry Pi Zero W. Done. Okay. So let me just quickly run sudo apt cache policy rpioff. Yes, it is installing the right one, 2.1. Okay, cool. So sudo apt install rpioff. And you can pronounce it rpioff or ripoff. It's just a coincidence, but I'm quite happy about the coincidence. I always read it as ripoff. Anyways, this is what I'm talking about. Warning: the following packages cannot be authenticated rpioff. I don't know what that means. This is the first time I've tried making a repository ever. Basically learned it overnight after learning how to make a package, which is also the first time I've tried doing that. So I don't really know how to fix this. I'm sure it's on my end, but yeah, I'd be happy to know from any experienced package maintainers out there or repository maintainers. I just hit Y and it works. So yeah. There we go. And then the last thing you have to do is sudo systemctl enable rpioff. This enables it on boot. And now if we run, the first time you install it, if we run systemctl start rpioff, and it should be running. Let's try and check it. Active, running. Right, so the next thing to do is try it out, I suppose. I'm going to hold down I have a button connected to the Raspberry Pi in a case. I'm going to hold down that button now. In 3, 2, 1, go. Actually, no, wait. I don't want to do that yet, because it's going to shut off the Pi, and I'm not interested in that right now. I'm first going to show you where the file is located so that you can edit the script. It's located at, well, you can see it right there, actually. So sudo nano user, well, Unix system resources is what that actually means. That surprised me the first time I found out as well. There we go. And as you can see, you can change the pin you have the button connected to. It has to be connected to ground though. It's because I'm using pull-ups. I guess that I could make that configurable as well. If you want to connect it to 3.3 volt instead of ground because it's whatever more convenient or something, you can change this to pod down, I think, and that it should work. No, actually, it shouldn't. It still won't work entirely. You have to change the logic in button handler. Every time it says if GPIO input, it should be changed to if not GPIO input, and every time it says if not, it should be changed to. So here, while not GPIO input, it should be changed to while GPIO input to get the logic right. But yeah, that was a tangent. Anyways, you can also here change how long you have to hold the button for. You have to, in the default settings, hold it down for 5 seconds before it begins shutting down. And then optionally, there's actually the option to have if this is anything but 0, so say you set it to pin 15. If you set it to pin 15 will go high for 1 second before, and then low again, and then the Raspberry Pi will start shutting down. I intended this to be used with a transistor that drives a buzzer, and the reason I'm saying transistor driving a buzzer is because I don't know if there's enough current available on the pin to drive a buzzer directly. So yeah, it turns a pin high for 1 second, and then after a second turns it off and shuts down. So if you're using this with a buzzer, for example, it'll just confirm that you've held it for long enough and it's now shutting down. That's the intention of that. But anyway, so it's running. Let's try it out. Right, I should. So I'm starting now. 3, 2, 1. Holding it now. And there we go. It's shutting down. And now it stopped. The activity LED turned off. So yeah. So that's rpioff for you. Thank you for watching. Advice appreciated. And bye.